Today, we put an end to the age-old debate. What is better, refreshing or refreshing evasion? They're the same symbol. Hold on. Boop, boop. How's it going, boys? The Dragon's back, and we're back at it again with another video. And yes, this one is going to be refreshing versus refreshing evasion. I did many testings on this, and I finally have an answer for you guys. Now, there are several things that I want you guys to take in consideration, right? One, while we are using this refreshing evasion, we have almost full maximum efficiency, meaning that every moment that the stamina was at full, we will roll and roll and never let the stamina be at full for like more than a second. And we also never run out of stamina, which these are things that don't actually happen in the battlefield. In the battlefield, there are three things that are constantly happening. One, we are not rolling all of the time, and sometimes we see the full stamina and we don't roll. Number two, sometimes we do run out of stamina and we grade out. Even if we don't want to, it does happen a lot of the time, because sometimes you just gotta do that one last roll to get out of the enemy's hand. Therefore, you grade out of your stamina, but going into safety. But in those moments, you're not rolling. And the third one is whenever you are getting CC'd, whenever you are getting damage done, or even whenever you yourself are doing like a combo and you're for a second sitting at full stamina, then at that moment you will not be utilizing your rolls. So these are 3 or 4 scenarios where you wouldn't be utilizing your roll to the fullest and maximum of efficiency. Have that in mind. Right. In the other hand, refreshing, it's always there. You don't have to do absolutely anything. But let me show you guys the results that I got from these videos. And without making this any longer, let's get right into it. For the first test, I picked the Fire Staff and I chose 3 abilities with less than 20 seconds cooldown. I wanted to see how fast could I use the Fire Staff abilities before I use 4 fireballs. And at the same time, I wanted to see how many of your offhand weapons abilities you can use before you use the 4 fireballs. Because as you guys know, refreshing actually impacts the cooldown of your offhand abilities, even if you don't have that weapon now. But with refreshing evasion, it's not the case. With refreshing evasion, the cooldown is only reduced for the abilities of the weapon that you have actively out at the moment. Now, if we stop it right here, you guys can see that with refreshing, I was actually able to use the 4 fireball maybe like a second and a little bit more sooner than with the refreshing evasion. But the interesting thing about this test is like, one, you already see the fireball. It's already on 8 seconds, right, for the refreshing, and it's 13 seconds on the refreshing evasion. But that is understandable because the refreshing evasion will always have a little bit longer of a cooldown, right? But you take it down with the rolls. The incinerate, the same thing, is at 5 seconds, and with the refreshing it's on 2.8. But look at the blunderbuss. The blunderbuss is what takes this one to the next level. With the refreshing, I already have 3 net shot, 3 splitting grenades, and 3 shrapnel blasts. In the other hand, right, we have 3, 2, and 2. The splitting grenade is about to come off a cooldown, so I will be able to use that one and put it on to 3. And the shrapnel blast is almost getting there as well. But if you look at the refreshing is already, the shrapnel blast is already ready for a 4th stack. And the splitting grenades, it's almost ready. Like, it has like 8 seconds remaining on it, meaning that the longer the fight will go, you will be able to use a lot more abilities from your offhand weapons. And also your fire staff abilities, as you guys can see right here, they are about a second and a half earlier in almost every single situation. And like I said before, this is with maximum efficiency of rolling, right? In an actual battle, there's going to be times where you're going to be full stamina and you're not going to be able to roll. With the refreshing, the times that you're not rolling, you maintain your stamina at full, meaning that you can use your stamina whenever you actually get in danger, or you could do basic attacks, right, in the meantime to fill in the gap and even do more damage. So for the fire staff, and not only the fire staff, for any weapon that the abilities are 20 seconds or less, it's way better to go refreshing. But well, this was with the abilities of 20 seconds or less. and seeing also, you know, just both the weapons, how quick can we use the abilities of the other weapons. Now let's go ahead and jump onto the other test. For the next test will be with the life staff, and I will be picking Revitalize because everybody uses that perk. And also the life staff has refreshing move because every beast life staff will have refreshing move. For this test, we're only using Beacon because Beacon is an ability with 30 seconds or more. As you guys see, pretty much is 1 full second of difference with the refreshing and refreshing evasion. Of course, we're connecting every single one of the basic attacks. At the end of the result, we did the same amount of basic attacks with both light staff. On the left side, it was 8 light attacks. On the right side, it was also 8 light attacks. But the main difference is that we did it 1 second earlier with refreshing. Meaning that if you are not dodging and you're still connecting those basic attacks, you will always have the beacon sooner with refreshing than refreshing evasion. Now, if you are not doing any basic attack, since this ability has a 30 seconds, it actually is a little bit quicker if you use refreshing evasion. But that is if you're not switching from the light staff to utilize the rapier, because let's say that you're getting chased by a couple of enemies, or maybe you're chasing away, you know, you're running away from the mobs, or you're closing to put an oblivion and scream at the enemy, or use like an orb of decay or whatnot. So you need to be with a light staff out, not doing absolutely anything and just literally evading. But with a refreshing, if you're not evading, as long as you're connecting the basic attacks, the same with the refreshing evasion, refreshing will come on top. And once again, it's about 1 second difference that we have better with the refreshing than with the refreshing evasion. Plus, the only cooldown, the only ability that has this long of a cooldown on the light staff is Beacon. The other one have a significantly less cooldown, meaning that if they are 20 seconds or less, like I showed you guys earlier, it will be a lot sooner if you use it with refreshing and not with refreshing evasion. Refreshing evasion starts making an impact when the abilities are like 30 plus. And in this case, even if the ability is 30 plus, as long as you're connecting the basic attacks with the refreshing, you will have it sooner than with refreshing evasion. And obviously your second weapon's ability will also be utilized better and sooner with refreshing than with refreshing evasion. So for the light staff, I'm once again going to go ahead and say refreshing is far superior than refreshing evasion. And now let's go ahead into the next test. This is going to be the Great Axe and Warhammer. For the Great Axe and Warhammer test, I will be also utilizing refreshing move because this is pretty much mandatory for all of the Great Axe builds out there. For this test, I wanted to see how many abilities and how quick could I utilize them before I use 3 gravity wells. Now, you guys know some of these abilities are between 20 and 30 seconds cooldown. The biggest one being a gravity well, but both of them have refreshing move, so you guys will actually see the results right here. On the right side, refreshing evasion, I will be doing basic attacks in between those rolls. I will never let my stamina get to full for a very long time or any time at all. And I will always try to keep it as well before, you know, reaching 0. Now, here we can see that with refreshing, the gravity well was about 1 full second sooner than with refreshing evasion, meaning that refreshing move plus refreshing, it is better than refreshing move, refreshing evasion for the Great Axe, you know, alone with the basic attacks. And the thing is that whenever you're a bruiser or you're in the middle of a clump, you're not always rolling. As a matter of fact, you want to have at least more than 80% of your stamina. That way you can avoid the enemy's shockwave, or whenever you need to start hopping away looking for that sacred ground so you can stay alive, or if you get caught by an enemy's gravity well, you will not be doing basic attacks. You will be hopping away to get out of that gravity well. Therefore, sometimes you're gonna have the stamina full waiting to use your stamina. The second thing that we can see over here is how the Warhammer abilities are just much better with refreshing overall. as we already know. As you guys can see right there, I already used an extra wrecking ball with refreshing, and it's already on like a 60% cooldown. On the refreshing evasion, I am about to swap weapons to the Warhammer and use that wrecking ball, but I still haven't done it. And look at the shockwave and path of destiny. The shockwave, it's a 5-second, path of destiny is a 9, but with refreshing, that shockwave, it's basically 1.9 second, and path of destiny 4, which once again, the second weapon will always be significantly better with refreshing than with refreshing evasion. And we know that the Great Axe without the Warhammer, it's not the full complete combo, because usually the combo goes Gravity Well, Shockwave, Maelstrom, and then followed by a Wrecking Ball, right? So having refreshing is far superior than having refreshing evasion, also for the Great Axe and Warhammer. Now, for the very last test, I picked the longest cooldown ability in the entire game, which is Defiant Stance. Now it's like whatever resolve, they changed the name after the Great Sword came out. And for this ability that does have a like 45-second cooldown, if you have refreshing evasion, it will be tremendously way better than by having refreshing. As you guys can see right there, second 21, and the other one still has a bunch of second left. Now, the reason it's much better in this occasion is because that ability has such a tremendous long cooldown that every time that you roll, it takes a big, huge chunk out of that ability's cooldown. The thing is, right here, I was using it with light, so I guess if you are an assassin using the resolve ability, maybe, yeah, using refreshing evasion is the one time that in this occasion will be better. But if you are a heavy tank and you're using resolve, usually you will not be utilizing your stamina to dodge. You will be utilizing your stamina to block 90% of the time. And if you are using your stamina to block 90% of the time, then, well, you guessed it, refreshing will be better in this situation. The only time that refreshing will not be better for this situation, if the shield using the resolve ability is not a heavy guy, it's in light, and he's constantly dodging away, and he's probably more like an assassin playstyle because they don't block much. But other than that, refreshing will be better for every single one of the situations. Plus, if the weapon has refreshing move and you are able to land a bunch of light attacks, then once again, refreshing with refreshing move will be way better than just rolling away. And there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The final result was refreshing is way better than refreshing evasion, basically in any situation of the game that we have right now. The difference between refreshing and refreshing evasion for abilities are like below than 30 seconds or around 20 seconds or even below 20 seconds. It looks like it's, between 1 and 2 seconds, but the big impact comes from you not having to roll all the time. That way you can save your stamina and have a better stamina management. And the other major thing why refreshing is far better than refreshing evasion is just because simply it affects the second weapon that you are not utilizing just by having it there sheathed. You can use those abilities a lot sooner. And there it is. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hey, don't forget to give it a like, share it, subscribe to the channel. It does help tremendously. But until the next video, you guys be safe and cheers.